If I have to use mono controls to beat Geef, Lord forgive me. Lord forgive me, dog. Geef going down. What is going on, guys? We are back today, and we're going to talk about Street Fighter 6 mono controls. So we're going to talk about how I feel about mono control as a whole, and how I feel like it's going to be in a competitive environment at CPT or Capcom Pro Tour as well. If you guys are interested in how I feel, make sure you guys leave a like, subscribe. Let me know how you guys feel. You guys think it's going to be super broken, or you guys think it's just going to be pretty good, and Capcom is going to probably adjust it, and it's probably going to be non-existent. You guys let me know in the comment section below. Let's jump into the video right now. Street Fighter 6 modern control or modern operation type. Some older Japanese players feel like this is unfair and absurd to be able to perform the minimal frame action with one button by modern operations, right? How do players from countries other than Japan feel, right? So opinion, this is obviously his English is not the best, but we can kind of break it down a little bit. It's like a lot of old players only play classic, right? They don't play like modern, they don't play like dynamic, they just play classic and stuff like that. So they're feeling like modern controls is probably a little bit overpowered in a lot of aspects, especially something that they feel like just having one button kind of like solved it. It's really cheap. This is my personal speculation. I think that a combination of specific characters, level-less controllers, modern types will probably be active in the Street Fighter Pro stream, and I feel that JP corresponds to this character. But this is totally a prediction. So he's saying JP probably is going to be the character that stands out the most with these controls and stuff like that. My take on this is that I think modern controls is going to definitely be a thing. I think mono controls is going to be such a popular thing where it's actually going to make it feel like that this game is going to launch with 36 characters. And what I mean by that, meaning that 18 characters that have classic, and then there's other 18 characters that's like modern. You're going to naturally have to play them differently. Why? Because being able to like take advantage of certain characters like moves, for example, like Ryu, right? Having a one button uppercut, one button fireball. Uppercuts is going to be very easy. However, if I'm not mistaken, a lot of Ryu's key normals are not in modern controls. So I feel like if a person's playing modern controls, you're going to have to play Ryu differently. Meaning that probably looking for jumps or like messing with their reactions, like as an anti-air is probably not going to be the biggest threat, but walking in ranges where like they're normals that they can't use and kind of like playing around that. And I think that's how you're going to have to really like deal with a lot of these like controls and the character, depending on the character they play. However, it varies on which character that has less tools in mono control. So some characters like Luke kind of feels very similar without classic or classic and mono control. Very similar characters. So a lot of people don't talk about too. If I'm not mistaken, you only can select specific fireballs that you want to use. So you can't use like all fireballs. You only can use like one that you choose. If I'm not mistaken, I'm not sure how that's going to be a threat in like other characters. Like for example, like Geef, you can only probably use light SPD. Light SPD is good, but like it don't do like the highest damage, right? So SPD punishes is probably not going to be like your go-to thing. I think a lot of these things that are, it's actually going to make mono control really, really powerful in my opinion. It's like option selects. I feel like option selects are going to be the biggest thing of why mono controls is going to be so overpowered. Can you still do motion input specials on mono controls? Yes. And you don't get the damage nerf, by the way. But if I'm not mistaken, you can only do the one input, the one special that you selected, if I'm not mistaken. Please correct me if I'm wrong. Yeah, auto light confirm on modern is kind of crazy. It is. I think what's going to really make a break for mono controls is probably all of the option select that are really, really like dominant. A lot of people think like, oh, 20% damage is like fine, but at the same time, if the person is in kill range, does that 20% damage reduction matter? So you got to look at it like that too, like is it really a big hit if the person is going to die if they get hit by this? Now the option select that I am saying that might be very broken is that if you could cover like 5 options rather than just 2 options, you know what I'm saying? So 2 options is okay, but 5 options in off any situation is borderline insanely cheap. And I think they will have to really take the time and keep toning down modern control until they get it to a cup of tea. I do think modern controls is going to get hit a lot this year, and that's okay because this is something that is new. This is something that is fairly new. I think this is a good direction. Again, having classic and modern being like 2 different things. A good player of modern is just going to be way scarier than a random just vibing with modern. A free. Honestly, what player I think is going to actually be a modern control player, prove me, is I think Ending Walker is going to be a modern control player, because if you look at Ed is definitely a mono control character. So I wouldn't be surprised if Ending Walker is just a mono control player. Do I think mono controls is going to take over? I don't think so. I don't think everybody's going to switch to mono controls. I think there's going to be some characters that are very good in mono controls, but I don't think everybody is going to be mono controls. There will be some tier lists that be like, this character in mono control is better than this character classic, which is going to be a pretty interesting conversation. I'm already giving the world ideas. I think people switching to mono controls is something that they're going to be speculating. Like, do players really want to play on classic controls? And then if that's the case, well, we're just going to let it be known that we're just going to go mono from here on out for other games. But people do want to win. I could see it being dominant. If it'd be like top 32, I feel like 8 of those top 32s would be mono control players. I think a lot of pad players are going to be a lot of mono control players. Again, we'll have to really see. But right now, the way the game is being showcased with like Ryu, Luke, and like the other beta characters, it seems like a lot of characters are pretty good with classic. I could definitely see mono control players being top bracket. I could also see them winning a tournament, you know? Again, I think it depends on the character because a lot of characters' tools being removed also hurts. But I think naturally mono controls is definitely going to get toned. My goal is I hope it don't get toned down a lot where it's not playable because it should be played, you know? It should be played, you know, for what it is because, you know, do I plan on using mono? Not right now. I don't feel mono as a severe threat right now. Again, we don't know what mono controls certain characters have because we don't know what tools got removed. Like if Guile had all of his best tools in mono control, then mono Guile would probably be Guile. But we don't know. If I have to use mono controls to beat Guile, Lord forgive me. Lord forgive me, dog. Guile going down. Dude, Blaze Blue stylish mode was actually ham. So I'm gonna give you guys a lore. So Bullet versus Kagura was not a bad matchup, right? It was pretty hard, but it was like not that bad for Bullet, right? But stylish mode Kagura was like almost a 8-2 matchup because he didn't have charges anymore. So he just pressed the button. So Bullet couldn't get in, bro. And all he did was like the basic combos. Yeah. It was just a down input and press the button. You have to barrier block uppercut. So what happens is if you don't barrier block, you just get hit. So every time he barrier block uppercut, it was safe. So he just never got in. And then Kagura got gigantic ass normals. So anytime like he wasn't in uppercut range, he had to block the obnoxious ass long range attack. Somebody said, yeah, Street Fighter 4 DS vibes. Oh my God. One button flash kick. I think this is going to be a thing where we get coexist with both. But I strongly think that Classic will have a slight advantage. I think Modern is going to be more dangerous because you have to practice against. But I do think Classic will have a slight advantage just because of one, having all your tools. 2, not being locked into having certain moves. 3, access to damage all the time, right? Anti-air would probably be the hardest thing that you have to do. But I think charge characters have it well. Like, I think a classic charge character would be better than a mono control character. I will tell you this. I do think modern Luke might be better than regular Luke. We'll see. But yeah, that's my thoughts on that. To end it off with there, I just want you guys to know that I am definitely excited for DJ. I think I might just be a DJ man. DJ is just cool. I hope after I am done talking about this, I hope this day doesn't come and hunt me and then like my whole win-loss ratio is just nothing but mono control players. They just come to my lobby and they monitor my ass up. Yeah, if I become a grappler main, just know that I've been monetized. Monetized. That's what I'm gonna call it. I've been monetized.